Hi, my name's Tamara Grand. I'm an abstract painter and mixed media artist. Welcome to my studio. One of the most common questions I get asked is, what exactly does a typical artist's week look like? What do you do down there in that studio from Monday to Friday? Are you curious? Come along with me. I'll show you what I got up to this past week. Monday was all about finishing up last week's work and getting started on some new petite paper paintings. I painted edges and I painted 6 new canvases to start collaging on. I just love how fresh this new palette is. The blues and greens and chartreuses, yum! On Tuesday it was time to get going with this week's petite paper paintings. These are some of the jelly plate printed papers that I made last week. If you're interested in more details about this project, I'm making 100 of these petite paper paintings over 3 months. You can check out the video that I've linked above. On Wednesday, I worked on adding a little bit of interest to these chunky paintings that had mainly rectangular shapes. I'd cut out some ovals and some open squares and started laying those down to get some really interesting contrasting effects. 2 of the 3 I absolutely love. The third one, well, it kind of reminds me of something. What do you think? Wait for it. Do you see it? I can't get it out of my head. On Thursday, I moved back onto the wall and kept working on a larger painting. This is a 24 by 24 inch piece that has the same color palette as my petite paper paintings for the week. I'm using mainly blues and greens and grays and adding layers and taking layers off and adding layers and taking layers off. And this is what the piece looked like at the end of that session. On Friday, I was right back into that 24 by 24 inch painting, adding more layers, taking paint off. Continue. This is how I build up texture and depth and transparency in my paintings. Lots of addition and subtraction of paint. This piece is nowhere near finished. It has probably another week's worth of work on it, but I'm not in a rush. I just like to see where the painting takes me. Here are a few of my favorite bits. You can see the stencil below, you can see the ghostly shapes and the outlines of the underlying shapes and that thick edge of paint. Of course, I don't paint all week. There's lots of time sitting in my chair, thinking and looking at paintings. There's admin like photographing recent work and getting it up on my online inventory. Artwork Archives is what I use to keep track of where my paintings are. And of course, prepping a newsletter to go out to my newsletter subscribers next week. Are you on the list? Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had as much fun in studio as I did. If you're interested in more content, you can find me on my website, tamaragrand.com. You could sign up for that newsletter. I'll put the link in the show notes below. And please give this video a like, a thumbs up, a share, subscribe to the channel. I release new content every couple of weeks, content that's of interest to both artists and art collectors alike.